Shri Chaitanya Savikam Yena Bhutale Swayambhuvāgadam Tati Svapadam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Thakur Shri Guru Shri Rupam Sakyam Shri Guru Sadhaitam Sadhaitam Krishna Shri Radha Sangatam Shri Om Krishna Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Shri Bhakti Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Shesha Namaste Krishna and Krishna Hare Krishna Gopesha Hare Krishna Shri Krishna Shri Advaita Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama
Hare Krishna. So we're happy to be with all of you once. Any idea who is this Jayanand who we are going to discuss about? Who was he? Okay, he was disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So this Jayanand Prabhu is not someone from our Vedic times, someone like Jayadev Goswami, but there's something very interesting that we are discussing about some Vaishnava who apparently was like not having a very high birth. He was born in US, and the place where people are not following proper Vedic lifestyle or regulatory principles. But his life was so glorious, so special, that Srila Prabhupada, when Jayanand Prabhu departed, he left his body. Prabhupada asked that his name should be added in the Vaishnava calendar. So in the morning we read this Vaishnava case, today's appearance day of a such and such Vaishnava, today's disappearance day of such and such Vaishnava. So Prabhupada told to add Jayanand Prabhu's name in the Vaishnava calendar. And he's the only Prabhupada disciple in one way whose name is added. Correct, no one else is there in the Vaishnava calendar which is added. Prabhupada asked specifically his name should be added, and also Prabhupada told that wherever we do ISKCON Yatra of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, so he mentioned that Jayanand Prabhu's photo should be there on the cart. That was Prabhupada's appreciation and gratitude for him. So one thing we need to understand that just like Lord, when he appears, he will not come alone. And Prabhupada gives example of a king who is visiting some place. If king is visiting some place, will he visit alone? अकेला आ गया राजा घोड़े पे सवार. No, if king is visiting, the first some soldiers will come, some security guards will come, and many chariots will come, some horses will come, and then actually the king will come. And behind the king also many more people will be following. Correct? No? Even if prime minister is visiting somewhere, the preparation starts so many days before, and they do preparations to great details. Like they even renovate the roads. They do security check of all the buildings around, all the buildings from which the path from which the prime minister or the president will be passing by. There's so many preparations required. So when Lord comes, if king is coming or prime minister is coming, so many arrangements are being made, and he doesn't come alone. Why will the supreme Lord, when he's taking his avatar, he will come alone? So when he also comes, he comes with so many of his eternal associates. So many of them will appear well in advance to do preparations. Like when Lord Ram was about to appear, so first all the demigods were asked, please go and appear in the Vanara family. So all of you can assist in future when the battle happens with Ravana. So pura advanced planning. Okay. The same way, some devotees say that even when the pure devotees are going to appear, they also don't come alone. They also come with their eternal associates. So before they appear or around appearance of their time, many other souls who always assist them in their pastimes, they also appear in different places. So some devotees say that that is how many of the Prabhupada disciples who were born in West, they are kind of very special associates of Prabhupada. They appeared there just to assist him in his service. And then after Prabhupada's disappearance, they also disappeared. So Jayanand Prabhu was one such very special personality. His legal name was Jim Core. He was a complete American boy, with all American lifestyle, American tendencies, and but one thing is, although he was a very handsome, very strong, very intelligent, born in upper middle class family in US, so he did not have. It was not like he was born in a very poor family with a lot of struggles. That is not the case. And he was also very well educated. He studied engineering in those days, 1960s. He did engineering from Ohio State University. Ohio State University is one of the very biggest university after University of Washington in US. Ohio is considered a very big university. It comes in very near to Chicago. And he was also a very good student there. He became graduate. But despite of everything going very good in his life, and he was getting a lot of success wherever he was entering, somehow he was not satisfied. Kuch to kami hai. Something very important is missing in my life. There is something lacking. How many of you felt like that in your life? मुझे कुछ तो कमी है ऐसा लग रहा था तब हम आए भक्ति में. लगता था कुछ. वो तो भक्तों ने आके समझाया वो कुछ तो कमी है. आपके जीवन में कुछ कमी है, आंखें खोलो. अच्छा कुछ कमी है क्या? हाँ शायद. करेक्ट. So we are so much absorbed in material life that we don't realize that something is lacking. But these are some special souls. Although everything is going very well, they feel something important is missing. So that was his case. He was not very satisfied. He was always feeling empty with this material conception of life. The same materialistic life, same material American dream. पैसा कमाओ, खाओ, पियो, मजा करो. He was not very satisfied. So in this dissatisfaction, he was not wanting to associate with the upper class crowd of society. जो rich crowd है, because he also belonged to that, but he was not feeling connected because most of the times the upper class crowd was absorbed in material enjoyment. बहुत पैसा है, देखा रहेगा ना आपने कुछ बहुत rich sons, like the place where I used to visit regularly SRM, Chennai. The students, many students, because intake is very high and college is also very costly. Many students come there just to enjoy. And parents, now this is the figure I'm telling of 2011, 12, 13. आज से 10-12 साल पहले मेरे सामने बच्चों को फोन आता था उनके पिताजी से. फादर इज टू टेल, बेटा 25,000 रुपए तेरे बैंक में डाला है, खत्म नहीं किया अब तक. तो कॉलेज में है क्या, व्हाट आर यू डूइंग देयर. 25,000 डाला अब तक खत्म नहीं हुआ. अरे खत्म करो, अगला 25 डालना है ना. So minimum 5,000 was like, just a single party amount for them. And the kids there, I mean the students there, all this rich class students when staying together, so everyone would have their own credit cards in hostel, and they would do lucky draw. आज किसके credit card से party होगी. So different ways they will, सारे credit card फेंकेंगे हवा में. जिसका credit card सीधा गिरा, आज उसके credit card से party. पार्टी नहीं किया तो पिताजी चिल्लाते थे, अरे एंजॉयमेंट के लिए भेजा है तेरे को, just to have this very special life of enjoyment in college, which is so rare, you not get it again. What we speak about human form of life, मनुष्य जन्म दोबारा नहीं मिलेगा, भक्ति कर लो. Same thing their parents will teach to their sons. कॉलेज लाइफ नहीं मिलेगा दोबारा. मैं तो एंजॉय नहीं कर पाया, जो एंजॉयमेंट मैं नहीं कर पाया तुम करोगे. So generally that's the tendency most of the times of very rich class. So they want to enjoy, they want to have some party, and because so much money is there, by default they get into breaking the regulative principles. Correct, no? Because to go to hell you require spending a lot of money. दारू पीना है तो खर्चा करना पड़ता है, गैम्बलिंग करना है तो खर्चा करना पड़ता है, इंटॉक्सिकेशन करना है खर्चा करना है, इलिसिट सेक्स करना है तो खर्चा करना पड़ेगा, बैक टू कॉटेज जाना है तो कितना खर्चा करना पड़ता है. फ्री है इकोनॉमिकली, पैसे के वजह से इट्स अ फ्री थिंग. So because of these kind of things, this Jim Core, Jayanand Prabhu, he was not feeling very much connected to the upper class society. He also wanted to stay away from them. He was not wanting to mix with those people. And because he wanted to stay away from them, and see, America is a little different country. Now, people, they respect their freedom more than what society will think about them. सोसाइटी क्या सोचेगा, उनको जाने दो तेल लेने, मुझे जो करना है, where I feel satisfied I will do that. So he ended up becoming a driver of a cab. That is a career he chose. अभी मैं फिर अरे ड्राइवर बन गया, what is the use of his life? But see, America is a different society. There people feel, oh, if you feel satisfied with that, then that is the best job for you. Doesn't matter what is the social status, what people think about you. So, and because he was like a little different kind of personality, he did not go ahead with his engineering job. Okay, I'm engineer. In those days, it's very special qualification, but he preferred to be a cab driver in San Francisco. So whole night he would be driving cab. And then when he was searching for the questions, searching for answers for the questions he was getting time and again, the thirst for seeking the truth of life became very intense in his life. And when he was not getting answers, he went into depression. And he became almost suicidal. He decided कि क्या है जीवन का फायदा क्या है. Same eating, sleeping, mating, depending. आहार निद्रा भयमैथुनम च सामान्यम एतत् पशुभिर्नराणाम्. क्या है वही पशु वाला जीवन जी के क्या फायदा है. So he was not very satisfied, and although he was very introspective, but he was not at all religious. See, in India, students find it easy to pick up Krishna consciousness most of the times because of their religious background. करेक्ट ना? बचपन से कुछ ना कुछ आप सबके घर पे कुछ ना कुछ पाठ पूजा होता है ना? कोई कुछ पोथी पढ़ रहा है, कोई कुछ आरती कर रहा है. That gives us more faith. Okay, I can accept Krishna consciousness, and that makes us very easy also. Makes it very easy for us to accept Krishna consciousness. These people, they did not have any background. This complete, atheistic, non-religious background. But we will see when he became Krishna conscious, what level of practice he was doing. So, in 1967, when his depression was almost suicidal, he happened to read a small article in San Francisco newspaper about one Indian Swami who had come to the Bay Area to propagate the chanting of the holy names of the God. So Bay Area is the western coast of America. America has two coasts, East Coast, West Coast. East Coast has all the cities like New York, Boston, this all, Massachusetts state is there. West Coast में है Los Angeles, the Hollywood city, San Francisco, then Silicon Valley, it's up on the West Coast. So this, what is considered Bangalore of India, the corporate Silicon Valley. Yes, sir. So बाद में Seattle, ये सब वहाँ पे West Coast में. So that belt is called Bay Area in US, which is extremely rich area. What is considered Bangalore of India? सारे corporates, all rich. तो आवाज थोड़ा कम कर सकते हैं? Yeah. So in Bay Area, people are extremely rich. Most of the companies whom we hear about, their head offices are there. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, जितना भी आप सुनते हो, ये Meta, all these big companies, Instagram के owner, all these people are there. So this is a society where he was brought up in, and that is the area, San Francisco area. He was a cab driver, and Prabhupada went there in that area for preaching. So initially he was in New York, then second center was in San Francisco. And when Prabhupada went there also he became very popular. And in newspaper there was advertisement that Indian Swami aaye hai and he is going to teach people the glories of chanting the holy names of the Lord. And somehow this article ignited a ray of hope in his heart. शायद यहाँ पे मुझे मेरे प्रश्नों के उत्तर मिलेंगे. And then he decided, I'll attend this program. And that is the first time through this article he came in touch with Srila Prabhupada. So Bhagavad Gita says there are 4 kinds of people who come to me. Who are these 4 people? Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukrutena arjuna artho jignasu artharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. So one devotee who has written in detail about Jayanand Prabhu, he says that Jayanand Prabhu was in this category of jnani. He was always searching for the answers for the miseries of material life. And in such a mood, he took his first step in Krishna consciousness. He was not just materially distressed, nor was he in need of money, nor he was just curious कि देखते हो क्या है. He was actually a seeker of absolute truth. And that's how he ended up coming to Krishna consciousness. So in the beginning days, he was instantly got attracted to Prabhupada. When he saw Prabhupada, he heard his classes, and these were the initial days classes when many Americans could not understand the accent of Prabhupada. Prabhupada क्या बोल रहे हैं वो समझ में नहीं आता था. Prabhupada would say Sanatan Goswami, Prabhupada, they would hear it as Shonaton. तो उनको लगा ये क्या है, नाम क्या है, किसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं. Many things were not very clear, but somehow he very much got attracted by the purity of Prabhupada, and he became a very regular student of Prabhupada's classes. Many times it would happen that he was the only person attending class, and Prabhupada also would give class just for him. Can you imagine what was his fortune? So Prabhupada would be speaking and he would come every day practically, attend class, kirtan, do some service and go back. And Prabhupada also showed a lot of affection to him. Many times Prabhupada personally cooked for him. Oh, Jayanand, so Jim, his name was Jim. So Jim has come. So Prabhupada would give class, they would have Kirtan, he will say wait for some time. Prabhupada would personally cook for him, offer that bhoga to Krishna, and then serve him. So all this, it became like a very transforming experience for Jayanand. And very soon, he received initiation from Srila Prabhupada and became a Jayananda Das. And he became one of the most favorite students of Prabhupada those days. So actually, if you see the way yesterday we were hearing about this, the way devotees in 1960s who met Prabhupada, how they would behave, and how people who met Prabhupada in 1970s, there was a lot of difference in them. People who met Prabhupada in 1960s, they were kind of more open to him. Sometimes they'll even give correction to Prabhupada, some suggestion to Prabhupada. They're like, ठीक है ना? Just like, because we see him as a not very successful person in the beginning. Those who met Prabhupada in 1970s, they had lot of awe and reverence. बाप रे, इतना successful स्वामी. अरे बहुत बड़े हैं, स्वामी जी का दर्शन भी हो गया तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. That was the mood. But although Jayanand Prabhu met Prabhupada in 1967, one of the very first 2 years, but he was extremely respectful. He never kind of saw any fault in Prabhupada or corrected Prabhupada or disrespected Prabhupada. Never. In fact, in the 1970s, when people were very eager to meet Prabhupada, Prabhupada used to be very eager to meet Jayanand. So all people are around Jayanand, Prabhupada, कैसे तो मुझसे बात करे, मुझसे कुछ some interaction. And Jayanand Prabhu would be busy in his service. He would not come because he would feel I am very impure. Why I should go near Prabhupada? And when Prabhupada would see that Jayanand is not there, he said, call Jayanand. And devotees would go and tell Jayanand, Prabhupada is calling you. How fortunate you are, no? We are eager to go close to Prabhupada, but Prabhupada is calling you. And Jayanand Prabhu would say, no, I cannot go. I am very, very impure. How can I go in front of Prabhupada? I'll not go. So this is another level of dealing between them. Prabhupada would call and he said, no, I cannot come. I should just serve you. I should not disturb you. So it is said, do not try to see Krishna. Try to serve Krishna in such a way that he becomes eager to see you or he is pleased to see you. Correct? Na? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati बोला है, don't try to see God. Try to serve God in such a way that he wants to see you, or he's eager to see you, or he becomes happy to see you. So once I had seen one nice poster. The first part of the poster shows there is one person. He has come into the temple hall. Temple hall is not very clean. Little dirty temple hall, and there is also one broom lying there. And there is altar. Altar curtains are closed. And this person, he has climbed up on the altar. होता है ना, पट के वो थोड़ा ऊपर होता है. And then he tries to open the curtain and trying to see Krishna inside. And there's another photo just next to this. This devotee, he has seen that temple hall is not very clean, so he has picked up a broom and is brooming, and he's absorbed in brooming the temple hall. And Krishna is opening curtain from inside and seeing him. Oh, what is my devotee doing? You got the difference? The first case, there is service available, there is need to serve, but the person is eager to see Krishna and not rendering service. The second case, this devotee, is eager to serve Krishna, and Krishna is eager to see him. So that is how we should be living. So that was a case between Jayanand Prabhu and Prabhupada. Jayanand Prabhu was so much absorbed in service that Prabhupada was eager to see him. And not that Jayanand Prabhu becomes eager to see him. How we see, अरे मुझे देखना है, मुझे बात करना है. I want to get an opportunity to meet this great devotee. So not like that. Now, uh, yeah. So we'll go theme by theme now in this situation. So his attraction to Krishna consciousness was enormous. In the beginning, when someone taught him chanting, so when we teach chanting to the new students, we tell them that this is a Japamala, you chant. When you complete the round, when you come to the 108th beat, then what do? You turn the beats, correct? And next, you again don't cross that Guru Mani. You do reverse. Hmm? So when someone taught him chanting, he taught कि ऐसे करना है, फिर उल्टा जाना है. Jayanand Guru thought, chant like this, chant like that, that is one round. And then devotees told, so he asked how many rounds to chant? Initiation then I told, 16 rounds. So he would chant like this 16 rounds. That means he was chanting 32 rounds. And his chanting was very intense. And he would chant in such a way that as if he is trying to very lovingly associate with each and every syllable of the Maha Mantra. Very lovingly, very attentively, with great eagerness, he would chant. With full absorption, with great enthusiasm. And he would always feel, I am so fallen, that it takes so much time for me, almost double time for me to chant 16 rounds. And just see how advanced all these devotees are. आधे टाइम में उनका जब हो जाता है. But the fact is, he was chanting 32 rounds. For a long time, he did not know about this. Much later, after some years, he came to know, अच्छा, ऐसा है क्या? 32 माला करो. Because he was always feeling, see, that his mood was, although Jayanand Guru's capacity was enormous. In the temple where he was staying, he was always the last one to sleep and first one to wake up. And no one would see him sleeping during the daytime. And he was the most hard-working person in the center. Apart from this, he would be chanting 16 rounds like this. And then he would feel, I am so fallen. Just see how advanced all these devotees are. Devotees are sleeping before him, waking up late, sleeping during the day. But he was having this very special quality of ninda deshunyam, or not finding any fault in anyone, but always seeing others as better than himself. That is one of the sign of advancement in spiritual life. At the stage of after the anartha nivritti, even if there are faults in other person, you don't see them. It doesn't strike in. You just see the good side of the person. So in the beginning days only, he was completely enamored by the process of Krishna consciousness. He was rising always very early in the morning, before 4 o'clock. So because that time morning program was not started in ISKCON. So, but on his own, he would wake up before 4, chant all his rounds, do little arati, and read Prabhupada book for some time. Not so many books were there. Very few books were published. He would read for some time, and then he would do cooking for himself and other devotees. And then whole day he would be out selling agarbatti, incense sticks, because this was one of the first business started by ISKCON to generate donations, to generate funds. What was that? Spiritual Sky was the name of the company started by ISKCON. If you have seen this video, Hare Krishna World, or you are aware, we may show some part of that. How, I think Hare Krishna World, you will see how ISKCON initially gathered a lot of money by selling incense sticks, because Western people, they got quite excited. Are agarbatti, ye kya hai? So this is something special, This gives us a very spiritual feeling, very elevating experience. And ISKCON's agarbatti is now also they are one of the most famous. So many people come to ISKCON temple and they ask us, भैया तुम्हारा अगरबत्ती किधर मिलता है? किधर से लाते हैं? इतना अच्छा अगरबत्ती कहाँ से लाते हैं? Obviously now we are not manufacturing, but those days devotees would manufacture also. अगरबत्ती बनाना, करना, सब कुछ करना. And also sometimes they would just get it from India and sell. But you need people to sell this. And many of the devotees, because book distribution had not started that time. Book distribution concept invent नहीं हुआ था. It came much later. But before book distribution, incense stick selling was the main thing. And that is how people would contact new people and also try to make them devotees. If अगर कोई अगरबत्ती में interested है, जैसे now we say ना, if somebody is interested in book, maybe he will become devotee. Those days अगर कोई अगरबत्ती में interested है, शायद spiritual minded है, शायद ये भक्त बन सकता है. So his goal was to preach and also to sell incense sticks so that ISKCON gets money and we can run the center. So whole day, so morning he got up early on his own. कुछ रूल वूल नहीं था, कुछ अटेंडेंस सिस्टम नथिंग. Wake up early, do little aarti, chant his rounds, read, cook, and then whole day he would be out selling incense sticks. And then night he would come again, do some spiritual activity, and after cleaning vessels, cleaning everything, he was the last one to sleep. So and Jayanand had a very special attraction for prasadam. A special attraction, special capacity to eat and to distribute and also to cook. All three. So he was always very enthusiastic whenever it could come to cooking prasadam. And he was always very eager to cook in huge quantities. छोटा मोटा cooking उनको पसंद नहीं है, बड़ा quantity. Huge quantity you cook, huge quantity you distribute, and huge quantity you eat. All three. His concepts were little different in the sense that when he would fall sick, he would eat double quantity of prasad. You know what was his logic behind it? He said, अभी मैं बीमार हुआ हूँ, which means there are more bacteria and more parasites in my body. Till the time they are in my body, let them get liberated. And the only way they can get liberated is by having prasadam. तो ज्यादा बैक्टीरिया है, ज्यादा पैरासाइट्स है, तो डबल प्रसाद लूंगा तो उनको उतना बेनिफिट मिलेगा. आइडियली आयुर्वेदा सेज लंगणम परम औषधम. whenever you fall sick, you do fasting. फास्टिंग करोगे तो सारे पैरासाइट्स मर जाएंगे, and then you get cured. But his principle is opposite. मैं मर जाऊंगा तो चलेगा, ये बैक्टीरिया अभी जो आया है उसको प्रसादम खिला के छोड़ूंगा. So when you fall sick, you'll chant more to deliver those bacteria. Would eat prasadam double quantity, and he had amazing capacity to eat without any difficulty. So devotees say that he alone could eat full, no, I mean, I don't know how much you're going to believe, but he could eat bucket of halwa. Now I don't know the size of the bucket. What is the size in America? The size of the bucket, but whatever it may be, he could eat, but full bucket of halwa, full plate of samosas, and full plate of potatoes with cheese. And Americans, they have that capacity. I have seen the Gurukul boys, which were there in Mayapur, small Gurukul boys. You have seen these Gurukul boys. They are very small, but they also have amazing capacity to eat. So when they had come to NVCC temple opening, all this American Gurukulis, so they would feed them prasadam. After they have done yagya and everything, then they would come to have this Vaishnav Bhoj or whatever Brahman Bhoj you call it. So they would they're just eating, puris, pakodas, paneer sabji and rice and gulab jamun, rasgulla. क्या है इतना छोटा बच्चा? And after that, each boy ate 1 to 1.5 kilo ice cream. Not joking. हम सब ब्रह्मचारी शॉक हो गए, 1 किलो अकेला ब्रह्म छोटा बच्चा ना 1 किलो आइसक्रीम खा गया ना. So obviously there is a book written by one devotee, that Confessions of Prasadam Addict. I've heard about this book. This book mentions all the amazing pastimes around prasadam eating capacity and prasadam stealing capacity. Devotees को कुछ चुराना नहीं है, लेकिन महाप्रसाद की चीजें जो चुरा लेते हैं. So one of our sannyasi, Badrinaran Maharaj, is a GBC also now in West. He was studying. One day I went to an ISKCON temple. I attended the morning program, and after attending morning program, I forgot my camera. Very costly camera in the temple hall. I attended class and I went off. I forgot somehow my camera. After 2 hours, I remembered, my lord, camera. इसका क्या होगा? So I quickly ran. I saw camera was there only. अरे मंदिर में कैमरा किसी ने लिया नहीं. अच्छा है. Because those days, ISKCON, any person can become inmate. कोई भी आया, चलो शिफ्ट हो जाओ. Anyone can become inmate. पता नहीं कभी चोर भी आ जाता है, कोई भी आएगा. Because फ्री में प्रसाद मिल रहा है, फ्री में रहने मिल रहा है, और थोड़ा सा जाते आते जेब भी भर के जा सकते हो. So he saw that camera was as it is. Nothing happened. Next, after a few days, again he forgot his camera. This was very costly camera. Again he remembered, oh my camera. With great tension he said, एक बार तो भगवान ने बचा दिया, दूसरी बार भगवान नहीं बचाएंगे. He ran to the temple hall and his camera was there only. But surprised, camera is still there. Third time, somebody gave him Mahaprasad. Some deities, some samosa, kachori, some rasgulla, whatever. And it was given in a packet. And he attended class and he forgot that Mahaprasad packet. And he went. After some hours, he remembered, oh, I forgot Mahaprasad in temple hall. But he was very cool. अरे लाखों रुपए का कैमरा कोई नहीं चुरा है, महाप्रसाद को क्या हो गया, गया तो प्रसाद गायब. Because devotees, they don't see other things as valuable. Prasad is the most valuable thing for them. So in places like, I don't know, New Vrindavan or somewhere, devotees had one tijori, one big locker. In that tijori, they would not keep money. They would keep Mahaprasad. And they would even, put it, तिजोरी तो लॉक करते थे, बाहर से चेन लगा देते, चेन लॉक लगा देते. एंड पहले तो लॉक करते थे तो देवुड देखते थे अगले दिन चोरी हो गया, फिर चेन लगाया वो भी तोड़ दिया कोई, फिर उन्होंने और भी मतलब चेन वेन लगा के बहुत बहुत ही सॉलिड तिजोरी लेके आए. तो अगले दिन पता चला किसी डिवोटी ने बॉम्ब फोड़ा, बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट करके उस तिजोरी को फोड़ा और महाप्रसाद निकाल के खा के चले गया. So this book mentions many such pastimes, how there was competition between the servers and the eaters. जो प्रसाद खा रहा है और सर्विंग करे, दोनों में कंपटीशन है, देखते हैं कौन थकता है. तो अगर आज ब्रेकफास्ट के टाइम में कंपटीशन लगा है, सर्विंग वाले ड्यूटीज थकेंगे या खाने वाले थकेंगे, कौन थकेगा जनरली? खाने वाले. मुझे बस हो गया, अब नहीं खा सकते. लेकिन ये कंपटीशन जो था उसमें सर्वर्स थक गए और खाने वाले नहीं थके. That was the capacity. So Jayanand was one such personality. He had amazing taste for prasadam at a very different level. He would eat prasad because it was prasadam, and he would say prasadam with such sweetness and with so much love that anyone who would hear prasadam, you would feel, my Lord, kya hai ye? Something divine. I also want to have it. Just by hearing this word prasadam from his mouth, people would feel transformed in their heart. So even if little prasadam would fall on the floor, Jayanand would lick it immediately. जो उसको चाट लेते थे, प्रसाद है ये. नीचे गिरा हो, कहीं पे भी गिरा हो, ये क्या है? प्रसाद है. And tattva wise it is correct. Prabhupada writes in the Govardhan Leela that in Govardhan Parikrama when it was happening, some prasad fell on the ground. And Prabhupada writes that even if prasadam it falls on the ground, it is not never contaminated. Like the smarta brahmanas, if some naivedya falls on the ground, they don't touch it. बोलते कंटामिनेट हो गया, इसको भी स्पर्श नहीं करना चाहिए, आप अशुद्ध हो जाओगे. बट डिवोटीज कंसेप्ट्स आर ट्रांसेंडेंटल लेवल. जैसे कहीं पे भी गिरो, प्रसाद को कोई अशुद्ध नहीं कर सकता. सो even if little prasadam falls on the floor, he would lick it up immediately. And he would cook huge quantities and go out and distribute in huge quantities. And without any discrimination, he would even cook for drunkards. He would cook for crazy people. ऐसा नहीं कि हाँ वही बुद्धिमान है, टॉपर है, कुछ अच्छा आदमी है, कुछ अच्छा डिवोटी बनेगा. No, he was ready to extend and cook even for drunkards. ठीक है, भक्तों के लिए कुकिंग करना है तो we can take up that austerity. Drunkard, a group of drunkards have come. It requires great compassion in your heart to go and take that austerity of cooking just for them. But Jayanand had that special attachment or compassion, we could say. And his desire to help others was so high that later, when he was serving in Radha Damodar's bus party as a driver, uh, what he would do is, as soon as he would see some apple tree, he would tell, wait, 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 we'll stop for 2 minutes here. And before devotees could take apples, he'd wait. We have to offer, na? Apple, offer karke khana hai na, prasad khana hai. But his mood was different. He would climb up on the bus and offer the whole apple tree to Krishna. पूरा पेड़ ही ऑफरिंग कर देते थे. बोलते कि क्यों, जो भी ये पेड़ का एप्पल खाएगा उसको प्रसाद मिलेगा. हरि बोल. उनका मूड अलग था. Obviously we cannot imitate all these things. जो भी मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, उसको imitate मत करो, don't copy it. I'm just telling you, this is a different mood. वो पूरा पेड़ को ही ऑफरिंग, जैसे पेड़ दिखा, वेट 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 वेट, रुको रुको, पेड़ को ऑफरिंग कर देते. ताकि जो भी एप्पल है अभी या अभी आगे भी जो भी एप्पल आएंगे सब महाप्रसाद एप्पल रहेंगे, और जो भी इस एप्पल को खाएगा वो भक्त बन जाएगा. कभी तो एटलीस्ट उसकी भक्ति की शुरुआत हो जाएगी. एटलीस्ट ही विल गेट दैट अज्ञात सुकृति इन हिज लाइफ. See, we cannot even think like this. And he was not a person who was religious by birth. Completely non-devotee kind of, externally. But the level of thinking that he had, even great devotees here, cannot think like that. Correct, huh? That goes to show he was a very special soul. A very special associate of the acharyas. So it is said that he also had a lot of love for the holy name. We already discussed how he would chant 32 rounds, considering that to be 16. And he was one of the most enthusiastic person in the Kirtan. So one of his main service was to make Rath for the Rath Yatra festival. So Prabhupada, he introduced Rath Yatra in West, and San Francisco was one of the first place where it was conducted, and the most successful Rath Yatra. So Jayanand Prabhu, being a mechanical engineer, Prabhupada told, why don't you make Rath? Because Rath banana matlab, you have to make a wooden Rath. Huh? मतलब उसका एक्सेल होना चाहिए, चक्का होना चाहिए, चलना चाहिए, पलटना चाहिए, पूरा इंजीनियरिंग. The perfection of your engineering is if you can design a Rath for Lord Jagannath. So Jayanand was given this service, and he is given service without any facility. No funds were given, no manpower was given, and no material was given. बस instruction was given. प्रभु जी क्या सेवा करो, जाओ रथ बनाओ. मतलब क्या है, जाओ बनाओ. किधर है लकड़ा, किधर है आप देखो, हथौड़ी किधर है आप देखो, कीले किधर है आप देखो, लोग कौन है आप देखो, डिजाइन क्या है आप देखो. ऐसा होता था सेवा. नेचर ऑफ सर्विस दोज डेज. सो he had to gather people on his own. He had to gather donations on his own. He had to gather wood. He had to gather everything. And he was such a loving personality that people would be eager to give all this help to him. But most of the time, the people who would be working for making Rath were drunkards, hippies, some crazy people, or some non-cooperative people whom no one is able to engage. कोई एम्प्लॉयर उसको ले नहीं पा रहा है, तो रास्ते पे भटक रहा है. ऐसे सब लोगों को मिलके वो रथ बनाते थे भगवान का. Can you imagine? Even the Vanaras in Lord Ram's army were more cultured and sophisticated. But Jayanand Prabhu का जो endeavor था was a different level. And non-devotees. वो भी कैसे, रास्ते पे कोई दिख गया तो उसको उठा के लेके जाते, आओ थोड़ा सेवा करेंगे. And you cannot tell, यहाँ पे इंडिया में आप बोलो चलो सेवा करेंगे, everyone understands. हाँ, सेवा मतलब कुछ होता है, भगवान कुछ होता है, भगवान का सेवा करना होता है. वहां पे नो अंडरस्टैंडिंग. What are we making? We are making Rath for whom? जगन्नाथ. ठीक है. इंडियन लोगों को जगन्नाथ समझ में नहीं आता है वहां पे. And he would gather people and he would rent out tools. तो लोग बोलते थे ठीक है उधारी में ले लो, फ्री में, काम होने का में वापस दे देना, जो भी है, सौ लगता है, हथौड़ी लगता है, whatever. So all these things he would gather, he would keep in a place and start making. So one day they were working very hard for 10 hours at a stretch. So 10 hours means suppose you start at 8 o'clock, then it is by evening 6 o'clock. And it was such a heavy work that day, all devotees were just वेटिंग जस्ट बस सोना है प्रभु जी, बहुत थक गए, सवेरे से लगे हैं 10 घंटा. तो सब लोग जाके सोने लगे. एंड जैनंद प्रभु व्हेन ही रिटर्न आफ्टर हेवी वर्क ऑफ 10 hours, extremely tired, and in that state he entered temple hall and he was jumping most high in the kirtan. Different level personality. इतना थकते के बाद जब कुछ शक्ति नहीं है, that time he would enter temple hall and participate in dancing kirtan. अभी डांसिंग कीर्तन करते हैं हमारे डिवोटीज. 3-4 घंटा लेक्चर सुन लिए, बाद में बोला डांसिंग कीर्तन करो, तो अरे बोले थक गए अभी, बैठ बैठ के थक गए. डिवोटीज पूछे सिटिंग कीर्तन नहीं हो सकता है क्या, डांसिंग करना है क्या? बट यहाँ पे ये इतना सेवा करने के बाद he would be most enthusiastic for the dancing kirtans in the evening aarti. And rest was the last thing in his schedule. The daily schedules that we make, rest for himself was the last thing in his schedule. And okay, also he was very enthusiastic in playing mridanga, doing kirtans, and he always preferred doing kirtans over debates, because he felt that kirtans would transform the heart of people. But if you just debate with people, it will make them hard-hearted. तो अगर कोई आया है बहुत डिबेट कर रहा है कृष्ण के ऊपर, भक्ति के ऊपर, इस्कॉन के ऊपर, तो कीर्तन चालू कर देते हैं. एंड कीर्तन एवरीवन लाइक्स. Discussions and debates everyone may not like, but as soon as you start kirtan, this is something good. And he always preferred doing more kirtans than having debates, because he had full conviction that this kirtans will transform the hearts of people. An extremely humble person. Any advanced devotee, we can judge him by this one quality. Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishtrana, amani na manadena kirtaniya sadhana. Whether someone, how much humble he is, how much tolerant he is, how much he is eager to give respect to others, and how much he runs away from respect. Only such a person can constantly chant the holy names, and that is one of the symptoms of an advanced personality. So Jayanand was one of the most special quality was his humility. He was so humble that anyone who would come in his association would feel ashamed of their pride. कोई भी उनके एसोसिएशन में आता उनको लगता था बाप रे मैं इतना प्राउड हूँ. See, just like I know one devotee who is very clean, stays very clean life, ultra clean. He'll also wash his bead bags regularly and wash his clothes. Everything is very neat and clean. This devotee, when he entered room of one of Prabhupada disciples, His Holiness Shivram Swami Maharaj. Shivram Swami Maharaj is known for his ultra cleanliness. When this very clean devotee entered the room of Shivram Swami Maharaj in Mayapur, this devotee felt, Prabhu, I was feeling I am extremely unclean. I am very dirty person here. I was feeling afraid to sit even on the floor. Because floor भी मुझसे contaminate हो जाएगा. Are you getting? When you go in an environment which is superior than yours, you automatically feel inferior. Correct, no? Same way, because his humility was so high, anyone who would come in touch with him would feel, my Lord, how proud I am. बाप रे इतना प्राइड. इसके सामने आके पता चलता है अच्छा वैष्णव ऐसा होता है. मुझे लगता था मैं वैष्णव, लेकिन अभी समझ में आ रहा है सिर्फ उनके पास में आने से. दैट वाज द फीलिंग. People would feel ashamed of their own pride. And although he was very special, he would not like anyone speaking about his special qualities. So they said Jayanand Babu ran away from glorification like people run away from rats who has plague. तो प्लेग कैरिंग रैट कैसे भागता है आदमी, अगर छिपकली आ गई रूम में या चूहा आ गया कैसे भागता है, literally like that he would run away. So people had this understanding that if you want association of Jayanand Prabhu, don't glorify him. The moment you start glorifying, he'll run away. Literally, he would run away. So, जनरली हम क्या करते हैं, कोई ग्लोरिफिकेशन स्टार्ट किया, ठीक है, लेट इट गो ऑन, मुझे थोड़ा और, मुझे थोड़ा और, या फिर हम एक्टिंग करेंगे, अरे मुझे मत बोलिए मत बोलिए, लेकिन अंदर क्या बोलेंगे, और जोर से बोलिए। हाँ, तो लिख के रखिए ताकि कोई आके बाद में पढ़ेगा भी कि हाँ ऐसा भी कोई भक्त हुआ था, ट्रिपल एम वॉइस में। तो इनसाइड वी विल एंड आउटसाइड वी विल से डोंट स्पीक, आई एम नॉट एडवांस्ड, आई एम वेरी फॉलन, बट इनसाइड दे विल बी फीलिंग यस यस somehow he should speak. But Jan was genuinely, he was running away from appreciation, any kind of appreciation, and I mean, just to make others feel comfortable. Now, this is something very special. Just to make others feel comfortable, because others would feel themselves very unqualified. Just to make others feel comfortable, Jayanand would take them separately, sit with them, and speak as if, Jayanand is telling, how fallen he is, how many anarthas he has, what all difficulties he has, what all mistakes he has done, which are not there. Just to make that devotee comfortable, कि हाँ सिर्फ तुम इतने गिरे नहीं, मैं भी इतना ही गिरा हूँ। अरे अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि भक्त को बुलाते थे और ऐसा कुछ बताते हैं अपने बारे में जैसा हुआ ही नहीं है। अरे प्रभु पता है बहुत गुस्सा कर दिया मैंने, अरे पता है बहुत स्वार्थी हूँ मैं, अरे ऐसा किया मैंने, और लिटरली ऐसा ऐसा स्टोरीज बनाते थे, ऐसे ऐसे अनर्थ बताते थे, तो उसको लगता था अच्छा ये भी ऐसे ही है, ये भी पतित आत्मा है मेरे जैसा, तो उस डिवोटी को थोड़ा सा कंफर्टेबल लगेगा उनके संग में। दिस रिक्वायर्स रियली a lot of humility, करेक्ट ना? एक तो है खुद का गुणगान ना सुनना, दूसरा है खुद ही बदनामी करना, खुद का बदनामी करना जो है भी नहीं। आपने सच में कुछ गलत किया है, बदनामी आप खुद का कर रहे हो, ठीक है, बट ही हिमसेल्फ वुड स्प्रेड हिज हिज बैड नेम just so that others feel, courage and confidence in the path of bhakti. Otherwise others will feel Krishna consciousness only for very pure souls like Jayanand Prabhu. Krishna consciousness is not meant for me because I am very fallen. But by telling about his own fallen condition, they will feel, acha, you are also fallen, so you are practicing, so I also should practice because I am also fallen like you. Somewhere, a very different thought process Jayanand Prabhu had. So, and apart from this, he always found something praiseworthy in other devotees. So Jayanand Prabhu means no one glorifies him, but he is glorifying everyone. That was his nature. Always, anyone who comes in front of him, he would genuinely find something very good in him. ऐसे नहीं कि कुछ तो ठीक है, चने के झाड़ पे चढ़ाना है तो चढ़ाओ, क्या तिलक लगाया है प्रभु जी आपने, अरे क्या बाल कटवा, कुछ तो ना समथिंग ना, जस्ट उसको चढ़ाना है इसलिए चढ़ा है ना, नॉट लाइक दैट, समथिंग वेरी जेन्युइनली ही वुड फाइंड आउट एंड ही वुड अप्रिशिएट दैट, एंड दैट वाज हिज a very natural thing, always glorifying other devotees. And another aspect of his humility was, although he was senior most, he later on, when services changed, he became assistant to people who were half of his age, and very new devotees in ISKCON. So if you are given service under seniors, then you feel okay. After some time, you don't feel okay for that also. In that also we have problem. But he was asked to serve under people who were half of his age. So if he is 40, he had to serve under people who are 20 years old as is in charge. And he felt completely normal and satisfied with that. In fact, he himself preferred to become servant of servant of servant. जितना नीचे जाके सेवा करूंगा उतना अच्छा है, So Jayanand Prabhu, although he was a president of the temple, but he was always found. तो president मतलब क्या करते रहेगा generally? Temple president means what all things he will be seen doing? Huh? Management, because that is important service. What else a typical ISKCON president will do? He has to do management. He has to give classes. He has to meet people. He has to help out solving others' problems. But Jayanand Prabhu, although he was president, he was always seen cleaning dustbins, trash can. Now that dustbin is not like the small dustbin which we have here. It's like temple ka dustbin matlab it's a huge place. So it's a separate service itself. आधा दिन लगता है वो सारा, because in America you don't have workers like in India. वहां पे आपको सब कुछ खुद ही करना पड़ता है. ट्रैश कैन क्लीनिंग, डंपिंग, आपको आपके घर के सामने का एरिया सब, आपको नौकर नहीं मिलते. कुकिंग सब कुछ, यहाँ तक कि बहुत सारे लोग फर्नीचर भी खुद का खुद ही बनाते हैं. Because to hire a labor is very costly. Many people have even learned making homes. घर भी खुद ही बनाते हैं. रेडीमेड दीवार आती है, उसको असेंबल करो और घर बना दो. So that is a place where everyone had to do everything. And Jayanand, mostly he was seen cleaning the dustbin area, or washing vessels in the kitchen, or repairing some vehicle by going below the vehicle, or cleaning the kitchen, or he was going out and purchasing flowers, purchasing grocery. ऐसा सब जो एकदम तुच्छ सेवा है. No seva is tuchha seva in one sense, but apparently something which is not any limelight or something very special, something that really requires great humility to do. So most of the times he was doing this service. It's not that only during festivals he would do, other times also. And especially on the festival days and other days also, whenever prasadam would remain, the remaining prasadam, he would make sure that it is not thrown, but it is distributed to some people. And because nobody was available, although his whole day was very tight, he has his own morning program, whole day he had services, he did cooking, he did serving. Again, he would only take initiative. Okay, I will go and distribute this prasad. So he would gather some devotees to clean the kitchen, and he would also assist doing kitchen cleaning. But he was working double than other devotees in the same service. So say you got 4 devotees for cleaning kitchen, but he would do double than them. These 4 devotees combined, and he would pack the prasadam, load it into the vehicle, drive it all the way to Berkeley. San Francisco to Berkeley is quite a distance. You go to Berkeley, distribute there, and not just distribute, but distribute while doing kirtan. ऐसा है कि हाँ बस प्रसाद खिला दिया आ गए. So while cleaning kitchen, he would be doing kirtans. While loading prasadam, doing kirtans. While distributing prasadam, he would be doing kirtans. Again, come back. Again, clean up the wash. Clean up and wash all the vessels. And then sleep last. And wake up first. Wake up first. So obviously, don't try to imitate him. Go with your capacity. Go with your own speed. But he was really a very specially empowered soul. So one day, one new boy came to the temple and he wanted to do some service. And he was asked, okay, you go and clean the trash. Clean the trash area, dustbin area. And that was a weekly trash run. So weekly मतलब जो Sunday के बाद में जो होता है पूरे हफ्ते भर का. That was a heavy thing. And that was also always done by Jayanand too. So this boy went and he said, can I do some service? He said, why not? Please do. So he went and served. And then it seems to him or to somebody else, after serving, Jayanand had got a very special mango. The mangoes were not so easily available there. Very special sweet mango, it was there in his cabin. He told this boy that, very nice service you have done. You go and take this key, go to my cabin, take this mango for you. And later this boy became devotee. And he confesses, he says that My thought was, if the trash cleaning person in this temple is so happy, how much more happy all other devotees must be. And how will the president be? But he did not know that he is only the president, the most happy devotee in the temple. So he said, बाप रे, अगर trash can clean करने वाला devotee इतना खुश हो सकता है, तो क्या process रहेगा ये? क्या भक्ति रहेगा? So anyone like this who would come in touch with him would develop great appreciation for him and also for the the practices of bhakti. So whenever they would do Harinam Sankirtan on the streets in San Francisco, sometimes in Los Angeles, there were many envious people, as they are everywhere. So, because there are many Christians also who want to kind of oppose the spreading of Krishna consciousness. So, there was one envious man. He and fish and meat is very common food in US. So, what he would do, as soon as the devotees are going to come for Harinam, he would hear the kirtan on the footpath, and his shop was just on the footpath. This man, and he would be selling fishes, and he would be cooking fish. तो जो fish को cook करने के लिए जो पानी है, to boil fishes, and fish smells very bad, and the water which has boiled fish also smells very bad. So this hot boiling, fish boiled water, which will smell very bad. As soon as devotees are about to come, he would throw it on the footpath. पूरा ऐसा फुटपाथ पे एकदम गर्म पानी आ गया है और एकदम गंदा स्मेल आ रहा है. And what can be a general typical reaction of a person when something like this happens? क्या करेंगे हम? डांटेंगे, झगड़ा करेंगे, क्या है समझता नहीं है क्या? एक तो हम दूसरों का भला कर रहे हैं, अब दूसरों का भला नहीं, एटलीस्ट बुरा तो मत करो. But Jayanand Prabhu, he would immediately grab some cookies and run to them, and he would give them cookie prasad and say, thank you so much for cleaning the road for devotees who are doing Harinam Sankirtan. And this person, slowly he got very much transformed, and he stopped doing that. And if cookies are not given, he would call, hey Prabhu, cookie kidhar hai? Prasad de do humko. So many such envious people got transformed by Jayanand Prabhu's dealings. There were many people who never became devotees, but they had developed a lot of appreciation for Jayanand. So later on, when Jayanand Prabhu's services changed, because he had got cancer also, so devotees who took up the area where Jayanand Prabhu would go and do services, whenever these devotees would go there, people there would ask him, hey, where is that Johnny Ananda? Some drunkard people would ask, hey, where is that Johnny Ananda? He is my best friend. And पिया हुआ है ना. तो ऐसे लोगों के भी धीरा धीरे जन प्रिय प्रिय करो निर्मत सरो पूजी दो, like six Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were very dear to everyone. धीर अधीर बधीर सब लोग. The same way Jayanand Prabhu was very dear to all these drunkards also. And many people, they would say that we don't know about your philosophy, but if Jayanand is practicing it, it must be very good. Can you imagine? This is called appreciation of devotee. I don't know bhakti क्या है, ISKCON क्या है, लेकिन Jayanand उसमें है क्या? हाँ. Because we have never met a more pure, more saintly person than him in our life. And if such a saintly, such a pure person is practicing something, it must be the best process. So, and there was one lady, police officer, she would give very hard time to devotees for Rath Yatra permissions. She was very unfavorable. But after some years, when she saw that Jayanand was not coming to her for permissions and all, she asked, hey, where is Jayanand? And by that time, Jayanand had passed away. He had died. So as soon as she heard that Jayanand has passed away, she started crying. A lady who is kind of against ISKCON, against devotees, always troubling devotees. But even her heart was touched. It's because she said, we have never seen a person like him. So that was his very special quality. Even people would try to attack the Rath which he was trying to build, because they did not have a security guard. You make half Rath, next day you come and make remaining part of the Rath. And some envious people who try to demolish or break or whatever. One such person, he just wanted to contaminate. He came to know this is a religious purpose. They want to maintain the purity of Rath. जगन्नाथ जी बैठने वाले हैं, तो मैं मेरा कचरे का डब्बा इस रथ पे खाली करूंगा. And this devotee who writes about this incident, he says this person was like Marich. This Marich and Subahu, what they wanted to do? Contaminate the yagya sthali of the sages. So this was yagya going on of making rath. And here was a Marich who was coming with his dustbin to contaminate the yagya sthali. And all devotees got shocked because this man was very crazy. It was very difficult to handle him. Everyone knew him in the society as a very crazy man. And if he has decided to do something, he will do it. And he had decided, ये पूरा garbage can आज मैं इस रथ के ऊपर डालूंगा, which is under construction. So as soon as I started coming near, everyone looked at Jayanand Prabhu. Because he was the only hope. And Jayanand Prabhu just went to him. And what he spoke, what he did, nobody knows. But that man never came back. And he never came back. His heart got completely transformed just with one dealing of China. He was so humble, so loving, so kind, so gentle, so much understanding. I said, please don't do it, whatever. And others will also say the same thing, but it did not work. But when he did, it really worked, and that person, he never came back. Now, Jayanand was also very selfless, extremely selfless. So, in the initial days when the temple was started, San Francisco temple did not have funds. So, one thing he would do is sell incense sticks, but still funds were falling short. So, Jayanand told that I was a cab driver. I can again start driving cabs. So, daytime he was serving as president, and night time he was serving as cab driver. He would drive cab for 12 to 14 hours, and whatever money he would get in driving cab, he would give it to the temple. And this is how for quite a few years he did. I don't know whether in the beginning days or later days, but he did this service. Just to support temple financially, he was a cab driver. For 12 to 14 hours, he would work hard and give all the money to temple. And when he has given all the money, and he has brought so much donation, but he would never like to spend a single rupee on his own, for his own purpose. So his, he was very stingy, बहुत कंजूस स्पेंड करने में. बट कंजूस क्या होता है? खुद का खुद ही रखता है, किसको देता नहीं. लेकिन ये अलग टाइप के कंजूस थे. जितना भी पैसा आया पूरा भगवान को और भक्तों को दे दिया, लेकिन खुद के लिए उसमें से 1 रुपया खर्च करने को रेडी नहीं होते थे. It was very miserly in that sense. So his pants had become very dirty, very old, not at all presentable. Because devotees would wear many times pants, not just dhoti. And devotees told, यार जाओ खरीद लो, ये बहुत गंदा है पैंट, अच्छा नहीं लगता है, एक पैंट खरीद लो. He said, नहीं. How can I purchase? I don't want to spend money. Hey, खर्च बहुत push किया. Finally, when devotees pushed him so much, then he said, okay, I'll go and purchase a pant, because devotees are not happy, they're not liking it. So devotees को भी खुश करना है, पैंट लाना है, लेकिन पैसा भी खर्च नहीं करना है. तो पैंट कैसे आएगा? हाँ, स्टीलिंग, चोरी करना पड़ेगा. तो ही वेंट टू सुपर मार्केट, और वहां पे उन्होंने देखा ये पैंट ठीक लग रहा है. तो भक्तों को पसंद करना था, लेकिन पैसा भी खर्च नहीं करना था, तो उन्होंने वो पैंट चुरा लिया. लेकिन सिक्योरिटी गार्ड ने देख लिया, पकड़े गए. तो वो लेके गया उनको जेल में, और वहां से उनको लेके गए कोर्ट में. कोर्ट में पूछा, तुमने पैंट चोरी किया? With great humility, he said, yes, I stole the pant. बोले क्यों चोरी किया? इसे एक्चुअली मैं दिन भर पैसा जमा कर रहा हूँ दूसरों की सेवा करने के लिए। जो भी पैसा है ये दूसरों की सेवा करने के लिए, उसको मैं खुद के लिए कैसे यूज कर सकता हूँ? ये सुन के जो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड खड़ा था वहां पे कोर्ट में, वो रोने लग गया। बोले ठीक है, तुम्हारे पैंट का पैसा मैं दे दूंगा, तुम चले जाओ। सी, दिस इज वैष्णव। बोले दिस मनी आई एम गैदरिंग फॉर सर्विंग पीपल, हाउ कैन आई स्पेंड अ सिंगल रुपी ऑन माई सेल्फ? आई कैन नॉट डू दैट। And because of this purity that he had, the security guard, he may not have much salary. His heart got melted. And he said, don't worry, I will pay if you are paying. Another time, one lady had sponsored some funky pants. बहुत ऐसे जोकर टाइप दिखने वाले कॉमेडी, बहुत टाइट, बहुत शॉर्ट व्हाइट कलर के पैंट्स थे। कभी कोई डोनेशन आता है ना, मंदिर में आता है, आश्रम में, है ना, कि चलो किसी ने तो ब्रह्मचर्य के लिए शॉल डोनेट किया है। तो सम पीपल दे गिव बेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग, सम पीपल गिव बचा कुचा जो दिया है, रखा है, दे दो मंदिर में। तो वी हैड वन रूम इन अवर आश्रम इन पुणे, जहाँ पे फ्लोरिंग में हर एक टाइल अलग थी, अलग कलर की, अलग डिजाइन की थी। एक पीला टाइल था, एक गुलाबी था, एक लाल था, एक त्रिकोणी था, एक चौकोनी था, एक गोल था, पूरा एकदम रंगी बिरंगी। तो मैं जब गया उस रूम में, आश्रम में, बहुत सालों पहले की बात है, अराउंड 10-15 years ago, आया पूछी किसने डिजाइन किया है, बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा है। मैं सोचा ही नहीं था कि अलग अलग टाइल भी लगा सकते हैं, ना, और वो भी अलग अलग शेप की, है ना। तो वो ड्यूटी बोले, प्रभु ये मजबूरी थी हमारी। बोले ये क्या हो गया? बोले सी, सम पीपल दे विल गिव बेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग टू कृष्णा। कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, अरे हमने कंस्ट्रक्शन किया बिल्डिंग का, जो बचा कचा है इसका क्या करेंगे, फेंकना क्यों है, ठीक है मंदिर में डाल दो। वो लोग गरीब लोग हैं, कुछ तो यूज कर लेंगे। तो सम पीपल हैड डन कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ वन बिग नो अपार्टमेंट। तो अलग अलग उसके जो टाइल्स थे जो बचे हुए थे मंदिर में आ गए, और मंदिर में फ्लोर बनाना था तो डिवोटीज ने उसको यूज कर लिया। तो आई मीन दिस इज नॉट द बेस्ट थिंग ऑब्वियसली, कुछ तो दिया है, समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग, बट वी शुड ट्राई टू गिव द बेस्ट थिंग टू कृष्ण। So some lady, she had given some pants which were kind of very tight, very short, white color, not very good looking. सा जोकर टाइप दिख रहा था। देखे ना, कोई तो अच्छा नहीं दिखते। तो जैसे ही डब्बा खोला, सबने पैंट निकाले, मैं नहीं पहनूंगा इसको, ये कोई पागल है क्या, लोग हंसेंगे। सब लोग ऐसे देख के रिजेक्ट कर रहे थे, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू वियर दिस, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू वियर दिस। जयानंद ब्रो सॉ दिस, ही वोर इट। एंड ड्यूटी सारे पागल है क्या, अच्छा नहीं दिखता ये। नो, जयानंद ब्रो व्हाट ही सेड, he said, if I don't wear, how will the donor get benefit of gifting it to Krishna's devotees? अगर कोई डिवोटी रिजेक्ट कर देगा, कोई डिवोटी यूज नहीं करेगा, तो वो दान जिसने दिया उसको उसका बेनिफिट कैसे मिलेगा? किसी को तो यूज करना पड़ेगा ना। हम यूज करेंगे तो कृष्ण कुछ कृपा देंगे। तो दूसरों को कृपा प्रदान करने के लिए he was willing to go to such extent. Even if people crack jokes on me, it's okay if that is going to give some sukruti to that lady who gifted these pants for devotees in the ashram. So later, Jayanand Guru had got cancer. He got cancer of blood and lymph. And although he had got this cancer, and maybe I'll come to this. Uh, okay, I can tell this. So he was admitted in hospital, but he never stopped his services. Although he was in hospital bed, one thing is he did not accept the bed. As soon as he was taken to hospital, because his body had become very weak, he said bed is only for spiritual master. बेड सिर्फ गुरु के लिए, मैं नीचे सो। आपने देखा है ऐसा कोई पेशेंट जो तो एकदम नीचे भी नहीं लेटे, तो एक छोटा सा एक कुछ तो सोफा टाइप था, छोटा, लेस हाइटेड, तो ही स्लेप्ट ऑन दैट। तो मेन बेड पे उन्होंने प्रभुपाद का फोटो रखा, यही गुरु का स्थान है, हम नीचे। और वहां पे उनको सब वो सलाइन वलाइन ये सब लगाया गया था। बट देयर ऑल्सो From there on phone, he continued to coordinate his Rath Yatra services. Because every year, service has to happen. And he was the man behind Rath Yatra. So, on hospital bed also he was doing. And in hospital, he transformed hospital into a temple full of festivals. नर्स आई तो नर्स को पिचिंग कर दिया, माला पकड़ा दिया. डॉक्टर आया, उसको प्रसाद खिला दिया. फेस्टिवल आया तो हॉस्पिटल में फेस्टिवल हो रहा है. क्यों? जयानंद प्रभु सबको दोस्त बना लेते थे, सबसे दोस्ती मिला के, सबसे कुछ तो करवा के पूरा एटमॉस्फेयर ही चेंज कर देते थे. सो इवन ऑन बेड where he is in problem, he was concerned about others' problems. अगर हमको कैंसर हो गया है, बिस्तर पे लेटे हैं, हम सोचेंगे अरे अच्छे से शुद्ध नाम जप करूंगा, भगवत धाम जाऊंगा. But he was worried about other people who are suffering in this material world and how I can benefit them. And his humility was so high that one day, one of the last few days before his departure, one devotee came to meet him. And one of the first thing that we do when we meet a devotee is we offer obeisances, Vaishnava Pranam. But he did not offer Vaishnava Pranam because Jayanand was like this, having all this saline and so many machines and connected to his body. He met, they spoke for a few hours and they were crying tears. He was also feeling very bad. Maybe this is one of the last time I'm going to see Jayanand. And finally, after meeting him, he got up and he came out of the room. As soon as he came out, he thought he forgot something. So he just came out and instantly entered again. As soon as he entered again, he saw Jayanand Prabhu had got down from the bed and he was offering obeisances to this devotee. So he did not offer obeisances, अरे उनको तकलीफ हो गया, but Jayanand Prabhu, that was his भाव. अरे वैष्णव आया, इसको प्रणाम नहीं किया, सलाइन वलाइन लगाया, सब कुछ लगाया, वहां से उतर के वो इनको प्रणाम कर रहे थे. ये तो पता भी नहीं चलता था इनको, तो दरवाजा खोल के वापस गए, इसलिए पता चला अच्छा ये प्रणाम कर रहे. नहीं तो कितने लोगों को उन्होंने ऐसा कितना वैष्णव प्रणाम करके भी दिया रहेगा. नो वन हैज एनी record. So earlier when he was not having cancer, so he was a tireless worker. It is said that no matter what service, if it is given to Jayanand Prabhu, he will do it, no matter how busy he is. He will make sure that it is done, no matter how much personal difficulties he has to undergo for taking up that service or for fulfilling that service. So, whether he was making rath or whether he was driving Radha Damodar bus party, and whichever service he took up, he put his heart and brought it to another level. So in temple there, on the upper floor, there was one gift shop. And shops are generally crowded when it is on the ground floor and on streets. लोग आते जाते हैं shop में, चले जाते हैं. But the shop was on the upper floor and it was hardly visited by anyone. And they all thought how to make this shop flourish. And they said, give to Jayanand. Jayanand Guru ने जैसे ही वो सेवा लिया, पूरा शॉप में क्राउड हो गया. He had some mystical arrangements. ऐसा उनका relationship है, ऐसा सब स्टाइल था, ऐसा सब उनका दोस्ती था सबसे, कि whichever service he took up, that started flourishing. He brought it to a great level. And despite of his so much success and seniority, he never asked for any special facility, any special arrangement, any special treatment for himself. But he was always willing to serve. Dasanu das bhav se. And some devotees say that he had also got some mystical powers. कोई भी शुद्ध भक्त है, mystical power उनके पास होता है. No, these are not some magical like this powers, but some devotees say that one way, the way he was able to transform people's heart, another is his capacity to work was like to serve was beyond our imagination. So one day when he was making rath, so because there were so many nails, he happened to step on one of the nail, and that nail went very deep into his foot. पूरा अंदर. And although nail went so deep into his foot, and पैर भी थोड़ा स्वेलिंग वगैरह बहुत कुछ हो जाता है ना, इतना अंदर जब गया, बोन को एकदम prick कर गया, तो no, he did not take a moment of rest after that, because it was so important time of service. Even after having such injury, he continued to work on the Rath for 3 days without sleeping at a stretch. Think then. Obviously, he would maintain his chanting and other things continuously 3 days. And after such a thing, when Rath Yatra started, he was the one who was jumping maximum in the Kirtan. तो ये कैसे करते थे, क्या करते थे, इज लाइक वेरी डिफरेंट लेवल. ही वाज इन अ डिफरेंट आवेश. मेनी टाइम्स ही वाज नॉट एबल टू वॉक बिकॉज ऑफ swollen feet. वो दिन भर खड़े खड़े काम करना है रथ में, तो पैर में स्वेलिंग हो जाता था. बट स्टिल he would not miss Rath Yatra, and especially the dancing part in Rath Yatra. पैर स्वेलिंग है पैर में, बट स्टिल वही है जो सबसे ज्यादा नाच रहे. सो ओके, अनदर मिस्टिक पावर डिवोटीज टेल अबाउट हिम इज हिज कैपेसिटी टू ऑनर प्रसादम. तो जब कैंसर भी हो गया था उनको, तो डॉक्टर ने बोला था कुछ खाने का नहीं. जब हॉस्पिटल में थे तो बोले नहीं, प्रसाद से तो मैं विरह सहन नहीं कर सकता. तो जब हॉस्पिटल में भी जब थे, तो हॉस्पिटल में भी सीक्रेटली प्रसाद बुलाते थे, ह्यूज क्वांटिटी. और अगेन ड्यूटी से दैट ही वुड ईट ह्यूज क्वांटिटीज, पूरा प्लेट भर के समोसा, चीज, पोटैटोज खा लेते थे, और उनको कुछ तकलीफ नहीं होती थी. हम लोग खा लिए तो रात को डिनर नहीं ले पाएंगे और बहुत कुछ हो जाएगा, फॉल फ्लैट. बट नथिंग वुड हैपन टू हिम, एंड ड्यूटी सरप्राइज्ड कि इतना बीमारी में, इतना खाने के बाद में भी ऐसा क्या शक्ति है कि वो डाइजेस्ट कर पाते हैं. एंड थर्ड थिंग डिवोटीज टेल अबाउट हिज पावर्स इज, जैसे क्योंकि इतना मेहनत करते थे, जैसे ही भागवतम क्लास होता था वो सो जाते थे. बैठे बैठे भागवतम क्लास में वुड स्लीप because he was very tired, but after class he could recall all the points spoken in the class, and not to recall points, but he could have very deep discussion on what was spoken in the class. I also know one devotee like this in Pune. There is one devotee, one brahmachari, he falls asleep, but any question I ask him, he can answer. So although apparently they may appear sleeping, लेकिन ये चल रहा है, आत्मा तो सुन ही रहा है ऑब्वियसली, बट इवन दे आर क्वाइट अलर्ट. सो ही कुड परफेक्टली क्लोट कौन सा श्लोका कोट किया था, क्या एग्जांपल दिया था. सो दिस अनदर मिस्टिक पावर. क्या है, हमको दिखता है तो मस्त सोता है, लेकिन सब कुछ उनको समझता था. एंड इन द चिली विंटर्स he could work with just a simple t-shirt and a shaven head. Devotees never saw him, स्वेटर पहना है, शॉल पहना है, ये पहना है, वो पहना है, beyond bodily, conception of life. एकदम chilly winter में west, there is freezing cold, and it is said even when he was doing this incense runs, he was selling the incense sticks. So many times he had to travel to other places for selling agarbatti. But again, because I told he was not wanting to spend a single money on himself, तो रात को वो होटल बुकिंग करते ही नहीं थे. And even if it is freezing cold outside, he would always sleep on the benches in the park, just to save Prabhupada's money. तो दिन भर इतना काम किया है, दूसरे दिन भी करना है, but just to save money, and freezing cold में भी he would sleep on the bench in the park. So they would say these were some of his very, very special powers, mainly which Krishna had given him because of his bhakti. Another very important quality is he never criticized anyone. He never criticized anyone. And as soon as some criticism would begin, he would run away. So two things he would run away from: his glorification and another devotee's criticism. जैसे ही सुना कि कुछ तो किसी भक्त के बारे में बोला जा रहा है, he would disappear. And even if he would see sometimes somebody has done some mistake, he would never chastise or never speak any harsh words. And even in the worst qualities of devotees, he would find something very good and always speak that good thing and never speak the negative thing about the devotee. So at the same time, he was not fool. He was very smart to allow that devotee not to further degrade in his life, but he would make sure that he would follow this Vaishnava Sadachar very properly. So that was about no fault finding. I think it's 8:20 now. We'll stop here. All of you have college also, right? It chalega or let me see. I think most of the things I have covered. Few things are remaining that we'll take tomorrow and then continue the next topic. We'll stop here because many things are there. It will take maybe 10 minutes at least more. 10-15 minutes. So we'll do it tomorrow and then we'll continue the next topic there onwards. इसलिए जयानंद प्रभु की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरे कृष्ण।